What's up, guys? JP coming at you, bringing you the movement today with Cam, Wilson,
What's going on, guys?
and our producer extraordinaire. Oh,
Why does he always get the cool title, extraordinaire?
I know, man.
I gave it to him too.
Well, it's kind of like that. Was it the other podcast that we listen to all the time? It gives them nicknames. We got to come up with some nicknames.
Yeah,
That's what we need. We need to drop nicknames on them all the time. So that's your homework.
there's your homework.
So in today's
guys, have a good week.
In today's
We can
episode,
take suggestions, you guys.
yeah, we need you
Everybody's
guys
listening.
we need you guys to send us some nicknames for our producer. Like, what are some good producer nicknames? We'd love to hear your thoughts.
I'm gonna throw this up on Instagram right now.
Yeah, this is gonna be good.
Yes.
Yeah, we
That's
gotta have some good producer nicknames. Make sure you got a couple good pictures to put up there.
Oh, I'm
of
gonna have
him.
to get one right now. You
Yeah.
do your thing.
All right. So one of the things I want to discuss today is and one of the things that sparked this for me is I was hanging out with a guy a couple weeks ago and just couldn't help but notice some of the conversations that we were having. It was just speaking weakness, some of those trigger words that really kind of, I don't know, make you a little bit sick, and you're like, golly, you're setting yourself back every time you talk. And I've known this guy for a little while now, and he is kind of his own worst enemy. We've had conversations about that stuff, and I know that you guys have both been in practice of speaking a foreign language to most people, which is called a success language. And it really has to do with your vocabulary and what you choose to use. And we've spoke about this in the past. I'm not necessarily talking about affirmations. So let me be clear. Affirmations are when you're telling yourself what you're going to do. You're speaking into yourself and stuff like that. What I'm talking about is learning a new language is how do you use your words? What do you choose to use? Do you say I can't or do you say I can? Do you say I'll try or do you say I will? Do you say I'm scared or do you say I'm excited? Do you say I'm tired or do you say I'm sleepy? So, and I know these things kind of seem like they're not that big of a deal. But trust me, they are. They can impact your actions on a large scale, especially when you start to speak it on a regular basis. And I like to call it definite of purpose. So guys that I kind of informally coach, that ask for my input on how they can get better, what they need to do and stuff. I tell them all the time, speak with definite of purpose. Stop giving yourself a way out. Because when you say, well, I'm going to work on getting this done, well, that makes it where you don't have to do it because you said, I'm going to work on doing it. When you say, hey, I'll have it done by Friday, it's totally different. I will. Notice the difference. It's not, I'll try to have it done by Friday. That's weak as hell. I will have it. And don't get me wrong, I catch myself.
Weak as tap water, as they say.
Weak as tap water. So I catch myself doing it too. And that's the whole purpose, like we talked about before, right? The Christian is not perfect. The Christian is just convicted when he fucks up.
But yeah, like just
Did you
now.
say that?
Yeah. No, but you catch yourself. That's the part though, is you catch yourself.
Right.
Like you've created a trigger or whatever
Yep.
to where you catch and correct, You did it last episode or something. You said try. And you said, wait, let me phrase that.
Yep. Yep. And you should, and I think that there's some power in doing it out loud too. When you do say something wrong, correct yourself, but correct yourself verbally. Don't be like, say, oh no, I didn't
own it.
Not try. I will do it. But I'm going to tell you one of the cool things, and I want to just kind of share this with you guys, and then I want you guys to kind of give the listeners a little bit of insight on how it's impacted you, and how it's kind of moved you forward, being able to speak in a different vocabulary than what most people do. But one thing that I've found, just at work, is you get into the habit of saying that you're going to do stuff. Like not I'm going to try, or we're working on it, or we're going to look into it, or stuff like that. Like you say, yep, done, and you put a stamp on it. It's kind of like, okay, I said I was going to do this. You will always put forth more effort to something that you say you will do than something you say I'm going to try to do it.
Right.
So for me, I've found that, especially speaking to anybody that's successful, if you go to ask mentorship, from somebody, or you're kind of requesting some time with them, these words right here will make those individuals want to pour into you more. These will help you find a mentor and stuff because they'll want to spend time with you. Don't use the weak, wishy-washy kind of language. But I've been far more productive throughout my career because I've learned these trigger words that are just small changes in your vocabulary, but have an huge impact in your action. And I've deadlines and things of that nature. And I've actually had bosses and superiors, and my boss's bosses come back to me and go, one of the cool things that I respect about you, Josh, is when you have a conversation, like they don't say definite a purpose, but a lot of times they're like, it's intentional. Like you can tell it's not like, well, maybe I can do, like when I have a conversation with you, it's almost like what I get out of it is, yep, got it. Like that's what, kind of the thought process is behind it. And it's bode well for me because those individuals trust me. They're like, if he's going to screw up, he's going to screw up full speed.
Right.
I mean, let's be honest. He may not be qualified for this, but after 6 months of beating his head against a brick wall, he'll figure it out because he's actually going to do stuff. Yep. But I just wanted you guys, like, how is y'all's vocabulary changed? Because I know both of you guys have, and actively working on that stuff. Obviously, you're not perfect, but how has that impacted, anything in your life, your daily life, your marriage, whatever it may be?
I mean, to truly figure it out or see it for yourself, you just got to do it. It is weird how it works. Like you speak what you want in life, it just comes to you. It's almost like the best thing that you could probably explain it is if you ever remember the last time you went to go buy a new car and you had one picked out and you didn't get it yet, but every time you went around town, you never seen it before, but sure enough, there's that car. Mm-hmm. Dang, there's that car I wanted. And or I'm going to get here soon or whatever. And it's just the same thing as you program your mind in those positive affirmations or in those positive words versus saying you're, not putting a time to the goal, not putting a date to it, not doing some of those things. You just, I don't know, just like the universe, if you will, or God, in my opinion, actually opens up a pathway for you to achieve it. And it's kind of weird how it works, but it starts with your mind and starts with your spoken word. And the biggest book that you could, look into if you're you struggle in this arena is The Spoken Word or Hung by the Tongue by
the guy that wrote Hung by the Tongue.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. But that's a really good book. Very simple read, very easy read. Also, you can read Proverbs in the Bible. It talks a lot about good principles and then spoken words in that regard as well. But I think that since Cameron and I started our relationship, you were awesome at correcting. And I think
you were awesome at being critical.
Right. Yeah. My wife would agree with that.
But I opened the door to that because I wanted it. I wanted to be, and that's another thing, talking about like how you said, find a coach, mentor, somebody who can instill that into it. You don't want them to be hindered. You want to grow, right? So you got to unshackle yourself and say, hey, yeah, I'm willing to take everything that you give me because I know I'm going to grow from this. It's just like a coach in football. You don't want to be a bench warmer. You want to be in the game. So you got to tell them, it's like, hey, what do I need to fucking do to get in the game and win and score? And then they'll tell you, and then you have to do it. Well, I gave you blessing to say, hey, if I screw up in any area while we're in that mentor-mentee role, I want you to correct me. And he would in his best wisdom of how to do it. But he would just basically cut it off right then and there. Say, no, don't say that, say this.
Yeah,
and it was awesome.
And it's true what you guys are saying. Like it's something that I learned from people that have mentored me, and a lot of people I think wonder, what do you gain from mentorship? Certainly, there's some direct game plan stuff, but a lot of it that I gained from mentorship I've had over the years has been example and things like this. Mm-hmm. This like fundamentally changing the way you speak. And speaking victory and speaking, I will, not I might, or I'm going to. Like that was a big one. Like I'm going to this. No, I already this. Mm-hmm. Like whatever we talked about goals. It was in 2021 we're in the new year. And I know it's cliche, but let's just as an example. In 2021, I would like to get a $10,000 raise. That is the wrong way to say it. Yeah. That is not attracting anything. That is not changing the way that you do anything. That's not adjusting the way you walk or the way you talk or anything. But if you say in 2021, I'll make $10,000 more or $100,000 more or whatever your number is, like it inevitably programs your mind differently because you are there's a great dude. Oh, I got to see him at a conference a little while back. I can't think of his name. That's awful. It's kind of an interesting name. I'll think of it, but he talks about how you're talking to your kids. He's like, you think about your kids having a typewriter on their chest, and you're like typing in, you're programming them, literally programming them the way you can program a computer. And you just think about like the stuff that you say to them. So that's one thing. Obviously, there's a lot of responsibility in what are you speaking into your children. But then taking that to the next level, you're helping them develop the way they speak into themselves. And Josh, you may have said this. I apologize if I missed it, but I don't know what the percentage is, but the highest percentage of time that you spend talking to anybody is yourself, right? You're going to talk to yourself more, whether that be internally or actually, audibly. That's who you talk to more than anyone. So what are you telling yourself all the time? Are you telling yourself, I'm a winner, I'm a champion, I'm victorious, I kick ass, I take names, whatever. I wake up, I piss excellence, as Ricky Bobby would say, whatever your thing is, or even if it's, and we're kind of being silly, it could be much smaller than that. It could be, I'm happy today, like I'm in a good mood. Yeah. I'm healthy, whatever. But whatever it is, you are literally creating pathways in your mind that will be there forever. And if you don't believe it, I was back home recently, and we were sitting down having some barbecue at this place, and freaking Def Leppard song came on the radio. And no joke, I'm sitting there eating barbecue, and every single word I'm singing in my head. And it was, my dad and I were joking about it because it was like we listened to Def Leppard when we go get on, when we go water skiing. So that was, it was just one of the, and I had a moment there where I was like, I programmed my brain to know every word of but it's the same kind of thing.
You have a couple of those go-to songs that you just kind of memorize,
For sure. But I mean, it's all in there. Like it's something I hadn't thought about in forever, but I put it in there over and over and over and over and over. I heard a great analogy of this one time. It was like, how do you get that locked in? Well, if you don't mind me taking a little bit of time here, JP, if somebody said, okay, if you will go memorize this song by tonight. So let's say you're listening to this 8 o'clock in the morning. By 8 o'clock tonight, 12 hours, if you will memorize, what's a song that's out right now? I don't have any idea. Give me some. None of us listen to radio.
No, I don't listen to music a lot. Nothing new anyway.
What are we looking for?
I don't care. Any genre, as long as there's words.
A little bit off today by Five Finger Death Punch.
Okay. All right. So that's a good one because I've heard of the band, but I have no idea what that song is. But a little bit off today by Five Finger Death Punch, which sounds super positive. But if somebody said, if you go memorize this in the next 12 hours and then you come back to me and you got it word for word, I'll give you 10 grand. Would you do it? A lot of us would. Mm-hmm. Some of us would say, well, I mean, I don't even know who that band is. Okay. That's excuse number one. Well, I don't even have a CD player. Okay, well, that's an old excuse because nobody listens to CDs anyways.
Right.
Or I don't have a smartphone, so I can't stream it. I can't pull it up on Spotify. But the person that really actually wants to get the 10 grand or be victorious, just as an example, is going to figure out how to find the band, number one. They're going to download the song, and they're going to put some earbuds in, and they're going to play it over and over and over in their head until it's programmed in their head, until they don't have any choice but 12 hours later to be able to just spit it all out word for word. Yep. That's how you do it. So how do I speak a language of victory? How do I become victorious every day? I sit there and tell my affirmations, those kinds of things. That's part of what you're saying. But the other part of it is just adjusting the way you say stuff. Yep. Trigger. If I hear try, I say do. If I hear can't, I say can. Yep. What I tell my little guys at home, if they ever say can't, our thing is we don't say can't, we say I need help. Yep. Because you can do it, you might just be too short to reach the light switch right now. Yeah. So you don't say I can't turn the light on. I just need some help turning the light on. Right. So we can do everything. And that's what it really is. And that's you can, and it's not just kids. If you don't have kids, then you definitely need to be doing it to yourself. And I mean, even if you do have kids, you need to be doing it yourself. But it's amazing. What was cool to me, and I was exposed to this. 8 years ago now, I guess, when I got around some good mentorship, around you guys and some good mentorship that started talking about these fine details and stuff, because in a conversation, you don't think that means that much. But when you stop requesting stuff of yourself, because like we said, you talk to yourself all the time. When you stop requesting stuff of yourself and you start telling yourself what you're going to do, it's a game changer, man. And I'm telling you right now, like it changes stuff because you back yourself into a corner at that point and you don't give yourself an option out because you say, hey, I'm going to do this.
You know, and that's what was a really big like factor to me when I started doing it, and I started doing it on a regular basis. I started seeing things change. I started seeing myself, like you just said, you'll find if you say I will, followed by whatever it may be, you'll find a way. So we talk about all the time, like my plate's full. We'll get another plate, get a bigger plate. You will find a way to get a bigger plate.
I guarantee if the buffet's got enough food on it that you like, you will figure out a way to get it to your table.
Right.
I've been to them.
Well, the I will work as an added benefit or an added measure to make sure you do what you say you're trying to accomplish is have somebody who you tell say, I am going to do this year.
Yeah.
And then if you don't, then you know why.
Well,
But that extra accountability though is going to go a long ways on helping you accomplish and achieve that. Because anybody could say I will, and then just sit on the couch all day and not do anything.
Yeah, but it's harder to sit on the couch when you say I will instead of I hope to.
Or I think about it
for sure.
Or I think I'm gonna.
I think I might.
Or, I think I might
I'd like to.
Yeah.
No, that's not the same.
Definitely. I get that. And I agree. Because eventually, when you say you will do something so many times over and over and over again with a repetition, it's going to program your mind and say, get your ass out. It's going to get you uncomfortable. That's the goal. It's get you uncomfortable enough to where you feel like you're sitting on pins and needles and you're going to have to get off your ass and go do something.
Are you going to go through some other example stuff?
Well,
I had one other thing talking about what you said. If you want to read a good book that'll help you get the mentality in on what we're talking about on the repetition part of it, is Chop Wood, Carry Water. That is a very, very good book, Chop Wood, Carry Water. It talks about a kid going to become
That one's by Joshua Metcalf.
There you go. Joshua Metcalf.
Metcalf.
And it's a really good book. You should read it. It's a very simple read, but it definitely shows you why those mundane and simple, but yet so crucial things to do every single day.
Hung by the Tongue, Francis P. Martin.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll put links to that. So you had something that you wanted to talk about.
No, I just wanted to ask. I didn't want to step on your toes if you were going to talk about other examples of those things, like words you could change. That might be something you want to do as we wrap up.
No. That's why I wanted to bring it up to you guys, because I know that we've all practiced this, and we all have lists. And one thing that we're going to do after this episode is we're gonna release a Facebook and Instagram post out there that's going to give you a list of what to do and what not to do. So here's what you say, here's what you don't say. And what you don't say, it'll be in the place of, right? Like, so it'll have, say, what we do say is can, what we don't say is can't, kind of stuff. And as the shepherds, we're gonna release something where you guys have something to look at and refer back to. And I would highly, highly encourage you when you see that to either write it down. Write it down. Like, write it down, take a picture of it, whatever it is. I would prefer for you to write it down. When you write it down, it makes a connection to your brain. So that would probably be the best way to do it. But if you've got some examples you want to talk about, man, shoot.
No, well, there's just a couple that I was thinking about as we were going through this. But we don't say it's hard; we say it's challenging.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to
That's
talk
a
about.
big one.
It is a big one because if you say something is hard, that's like a stop word.
Yep.
Hard is done.
Yep.
Challenging means I'm going to be better at the end of this. Yep. To me, that's what I hear. So. That's a huge one. The whole, try and do. Everybody jokes about Yoda. There's a lot of wisdom in there.
Yeah.
There really is.
So some of these, that's like we talked about before. True principles, success principles are timeless.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff doesn't change, man. Like in 40 years, it's not going to be like, I think I can, or I might. It works now.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
You don't have to say I will. Yeah, it works now.
Well, I think this also goes in effect with your expectations. So if you expect to do good, you're going to do good. If you expect to do bad, you're going to do bad. When we first met, I would always have the pretense of I'm going to expect the worst but hope for the best.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize how damaging that really was for you, because when you go into it expecting the worst, your effort, if you will, is not going to be the best. But if you say, hey, I'm going to win, and the scoreboard is not showing that you're winning, you're going to dig deeper to get that win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. No, and I'm telling you, man, there's something good, and I appreciate you bringing that one up, because that is a big deal. The difference between hard and difficult, because if you're competitive at all, or you love to progress or whatever it is, which I think most people do, when you start speaking of things in terms of challenge, it's like you're going.
Right.
Like when I hear somebody say this is going to be a challenge, Like it's
Hell yeah.
we're already doing it.
Yeah.
You know, like this is going to be hard. It's like, should we?
Right.
You know, kind of thing. And it's little things like that because your subconscious mind has no bias. Like it takes what it's fed and it creates an output based on no matter what it is. I mean, you feed it a bunch of crap, there's a bunch of crap that's going to come out. I get that's your subconscious mind is going to believe that way too. I mean, you can see people. A good example of that is placebos.
Yep.
That's a good example of how powerful your subconscious mind is. Like
did you say the vaccine? What'd you say?
Yeah, somebody can give you something. They said, and a study that they did with placebos work like I think it was like 75 or 80% of the time.
It's pretty
People
good.
took placebos and worked. A sugar pill. If you don't know what a placebo is, if they give one person a Tylenol, give the other person a placebo, they give them like a sugar pill or something that doesn't have any of the.
But they tell them it's something.
But they tell
them,
they tell them it's Tylenol, it's extra strength Tylenol and stuff like that, and they will legitimately I think it's like 75 or 80% of the time. So what makes you think your words don't do that?
Oh, for sure.
You know, and the way that you
because ultimately it's your brain,
right?
I mean that's what it comes down to.
It all is, and to your point, Wilson, I think it is important that somebody else hears what you say, but that's what I'm mainly talking about here. When I say learn a new language, I mean, when you're talking to people, you talk like this.
Oh, yeah.
Not just to yourself. You talk to other people like this.
You're
like
speaking success.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. You speak a very successful language. I mean, if you're in sales or in management or whatever it is, when you speak with a definite purpose, people listen because it's rare and it's attractive.
Well, that's the other thing is once you do this, or once you become more aware of this, it's shocking. Like how little you know. What's the right way to say this? How much you notice the opposite.
Oh God!
You know, of just not a definite of purpose, not the language of success, the language of suck. And it's amazing how much you'll get called out on, or people will mention. I've heard stuff like through a person of a person. It'll be like the way that you say something differently. Like I've never been around somebody that doesn't say, or whatever that is really intentional about their words or whatever, Yeah. But it's true. I mean, I was thinking about. Like we're scared of something. I was thinking more about the kids as we were talking about. Like we don't say we're scared of something. We say we're victorious over something. Like it's always an overcoming. It's like back to the hard and challenged.
Yep. We use excited.
Excited.
We don't say scared. We say excited. When they're like, "Oh, I'm scared." No, you're not. You're excited.
Yeah.
What? I'm excited. And at first,
same feeling.
They don't get it stuff, and then they start to get it and stuff. And now, I mean, and to your point. Like my boys, when somebody says something, they'll call them out.
Yep.
Oh, we don't say can't.
Ooh, I got another one.
Oh,
I got another one. Sorry, I didn't
go
want to
ahead.
cut you
This
off.
is good. No, it's great.
This is one, and I will call you out if you say this around my kids. Bored. Don't ever fucking say bored around my kids. We don't get bored. Like something's wrong. If you're bored, we got a problem. That is not a word in our vocabulary. And some people think that's crazy, but I will correct people. That one and shy.
Whew. Oh yeah, I don't like
dude.
shy.
But here's the thing. This is why we're talking about this. Is because it's such a normal thing to say. Like it's, when so I got a 2-year-old, and if once you get to know him, you would never say he's shy. Like there ain't nothing shy about Cash. But when he first meets you, he's like any other 2-year-old. He's kind of like feeling you out a little bit, kind of quiet. And we're big on, all of us are here, big on say hello, look them in the eye. So we push our kids to say hello to people. We're not okay with them just, ducking behind our leg and hiding. But they still have a tendency to do that. We just pull them back out from behind our leg and say, no, say hello to Mr. Chris.
Yep.
Right? Give them pounds, whatever. Why do you do that? It's, because we're making them men. We're raising men. We're not raising the other things. So
the non-binary,
something like that, freaking parakeets or
ones
something.
that want to go do a sex change.
Wow. But the whole the board thing, the shy, because I'll have people that'll say, "Oh, he's shy," and nope, he's not. No, he's not.
Yeah.
We don't get shy, and people will look at me like, "What do you mean? Like, what are you talking about?" And I know they don't mean ill will.
They don't. Yeah.
But I still, it's my responsibility. I believe for my house. Believe whatever you want to believe. For my house, I believe it's my responsibility. Cut that crap off, and my kids know. And once they get older, they start recognizing. Now Owen's more like, "Oh, we don't say that."
Yeah.
Oh, Owen 3 years ago. I mean, he's 5 now. 2 or 3 years ago, he'll call you out. My wife is big on, like, when she hears something that's shocking, she'll go, "Shut up." And Owen will go, when he was real young, he'd go, "Ours not say that."
Ours not say that.
Not say that. Now, every time, dude, if he heard "shut up," "ours not say that," Or
Yeah.
stupid was another. He'll call you out in a second.
Maverick
Like,
does.
and it's not like you're saying something, but you'd be like, dude, that is stupid.
Yeah.
You're like, what? Ours not say that.
Hey, what do you guys say instead of shy? Do you have a word to replace it with?
Bashful.
So we say outgoing.
Yeah.
I'm not shy. I'm outgoing.
I don't know that we do now that I got to think of something, because I think most times I'm just like, no, we don't do shy.
So I do that. I do that to other kids because it drives me nuts when parents do that to their own kids. They're like, "Oh, he's just really shy," and I look at the kid. I'm like, "You're not shy. You're outgoing, aren't you? I can tell you're outgoing and stuff." And you know, some people may be listening to this going, "Well, what if you're not outgoing? You'll become outgoing,
Right?
You'll become that."
Does everybody have to be outgoing? No, but it's got to be better than being shy.
Yeah, but I mean,
absolutely.
well, outgoing is going to far outweigh, because we've talked about this in the past. Networking is really important. I don't want to go off on a tangent on that singular thing, but that's a great example of just changing a word.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say shy, say outgoing. And guess what will happen? You'll start talking to more people.
Mm-hmm.
You'll start having good, fulfilling conversations and be happy at the end of the day. And you know what the difference between shy and outgoing is? Fear.
Yeah,
right in the middle.
Exactly right.
Yep.
It's fear. That's all there is.
Right.
And we just talked about that in a previous episode that just came out last week. You know,
Power of the spoken word.
there absolutely
so much
is.
power, and that's, I mean,
Whether it's your word, your own children, yourself, someone else speaking. Well, you're on about it. Great. No, we don't do shit.
Yeah.
Someone else is speaking that in your head.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that.
well, and here that on to your point, how much more aware are you? Speaking of kids again, how much more aware are you of who you're letting around your kids?
Yep.
You know, like I'm fully okay with my kids being around you guys, because I know you are going to speak the language of success.
Yeah.
But if there's certain people that I just don't let my kids hang out around unless I'm there too, because their verbiage is different.
Yep.
They're going to speak a language that they don't fully understand, and I don't want them to understand. You know,
Here's another thing. How you doing? Making
I'm
it.
all right.
Oh my
Making it.
goodness.
You know.
Why do you say that?
How you doing, Josh? Blessed and highly favored.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just say I'm awesome,
Yeah.
and it's amazing how people go, oh.
Really?
I even say that to drive-through. You know, you pull up Taco Bell, like, hey, how you doing? Welcome to Taco Bell. I'm awesome, man. How are you?
Oh, dude, I mess
every time.
I'm awesome too, I guess.
but if you think about it, like we talked about this in the past, and this is one of those things like getting free stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like, and not even intending to get free
Yeah.
stuff, but like you create that instant connection with people when you're not a freaking putz.
Mhm.
Right.
Like when you pull up to the drive-thru and you're like, "What's going on, man? How you doing?" "Oh, I'm good. How are you today?" I am outstanding. Let me get one of them burritos, man." And then you ask them for hot sauce and they load you up with the box,
Right.
you know, or
Exactly.
something like that.
I do that every time. So whenever you go say, "Hey man, they say, "How you doing today?" I'm doing good. How are you? And then
Yeah.
they go, you catch a pause and be like, "Man, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking, man."
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, how many people that they
But even
actually
go a
say,
level
"How you doing
further.
today?" You know, yeah. Right.
Even go a level further past the I'm good, because I think that's kind of a normal cordial thing.
Yeah.
Not, you know, but just like
No, I'm just saying that's
almost
what they do.
exaggerate it, you know, to I'm awesome, I'm outstanding. I'm a word you don't hear every day when people ask that question.
Yeah, and be a light too. One of the things that I really enjoy doing is in my daily life going through, and when somebody says, "Well, I'm making it," I'm like, "Damn, just making it? That's awful, dude. Like,
Yeah.
it's got to be better than that." "Well, yeah, it's not too bad." I'm like, "Oh, we're getting there, but you gotta up that a little bit, man. It can't be, you know."
At least make people think.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. And I love messing with people.
Oh yeah.
In a positive sense, you know, like especially if I see somebody that's like acting like whatever and stuff. Like I enjoy that, but your words have so much power in them. It's not even funny. I mean, and there's scripture written about that kind of stuff and everything. And I think a lot of people take that for granted. So what I want to talk about is, what are some things that you guys do to keep yourselves accountable for the way that you talk? Like we talked about with triggers. When you say something wrong, and I've seen you guys correct yourselves as well, but is there something that you guys do personally that listeners could take from that and go, "Okay, I'm not good at this moment, but I'm going to get better"?
So and that's the one
I will
I
get
would
better.
even encourage to change
Yeah,
that.
I
I know
will get better,
your
yeah.
point is, like, don't even say I'm not good at this.
Right.
Just say I am getting good at this.
Yeah.
Like if there's ever anything like I can't do this, I'm not good at this, I'm getting better. I'm growing here. I'm doing whatever. Just
Yeah.
like always speak it that way.
Yeah, that one probably gets me the most. I have to really be cautious about how I say if I'm not the best at certain things. I'm like, I'm not the best at this, but I'm working on it.
Yeah.
No.
You know, and that's kind of how I try to do it. I don't even know if that's correct, but I guess it is
It's
opinion.
just, and I'm not even trying to like sound like I'm better at this or whatever.
Yeah.
But thankfully, some people drove this into me so hard years ago that even you saying I'm not the best at this makes me cringe, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, like I don't always express it, but like inside, I'm like, like,
I don't,
and I'm grateful for that. Like, and I know that's not necessarily relatable to a lot of people, but like
that's
I would
the one I
say
struggle
take it
the
to that
most.
extreme though.
Yeah,
Like
that's the one I struggle with the most on what is the right thing to say when you're not whatever.
I'm becoming great at this. I'm
becoming
awesome.
great. Well, I mean, you know where you lack in a better word, but you're trying to be as good as you can with everything you do. So, but there are things that people are stronger with than you are. You know your strengths, so you go, I'm really good at this, working on that.
Well, the important part is like what Cameron's saying is not verbalizing that. So I should have been clearer about what it was. What I meant was like people that may in their mind know like this is a shortcoming of mine. This is something that I've got to get better at. What do you guys here? I'll give you an example of kind of what I'm getting at. I don't know if you guys have ever seen like people wearing rubber bands or something like that. It's almost like pain therapy. So every time you say something like you're like, I'll try to get to that. I'll get it done. Yeah. I will do that or whatever. That's what I mean by triggers. And everybody has their little knacks and how they do stuff. But I was just curious if you guys had anything that you guys did specifically.
I just tell my wife to slap me on the ass every time. Like, if I say something that's not the right verbiage, just pop me right on the ass. Good game me.
Yep.
Oh, dang. I was going out. I was just saying, I'm perfect. There ain't nothing wrong
with me. I
wake
up, I piss excellent.
Yeah, I piss excellent.
I'm kind of a big deal.
The sound of your voice just feels like a lightning bolt that just struck me in the tip of the penis. Like
I don't. Wow. That's vocal. I don't know. I don't know if there is something other than just practice and repetition, and then it just triggers like the actual, not the suck word triggers the success word. Right. You know, I don't know. I've never done the rubber band thing or anything like that, but I think what I have done is surrounded myself with enough people and heard that message over and over and over and over. And at some point, I just decided, like, fuck, if I'm going to live in Spain, I better learn Spanish.
Yep.
You know, like, if that's where success is, then I'm going to learn that language.
Yep.
And even probably to the point of, I don't even know if this really works, but what do I have to lose?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, there's not like a definite, like, this is what you say. Like, this would be very beneficial for our listeners to be able to have. Like, here's changing of words. When it comes down to just the actual action, you know, you try to keep yourself accountable. I did that for a long time, so I haven't done that. I haven't done that.
It's not easy.
It's not.
It isn't
it's
easy.
not easy.
I haven't done that. Like,
it's not
just
your native tongue.
It's
not
a
challenge.
It hasn't been like subconsciously just there.
Yep.
Like, so I can't tell you definitely like, yeah, I do this every single day because I do. I don't know.
Yep.
Honestly, that's the best answer to that.
No, it's fine.
But
I think
thinking
learning
back,
them though is good. Like
Yeah,
learning which
learning
ones what words could be holding you back, or
well, I mean, I've learned a couple of them just today on the shy part. I mean, I'll call spade a spade. That's what it is. But I'm not saying that speaking over them.
What
like,
if the spade identifies as a diamond?
I'll see.
Oh my God.
One of those. But no, I'll say if somebody did say, like if saying, like my son, he is being shy at the moment. I won't say, you know, you're shy, or like give him a cop out. I'll say, hey, quit being shy or quit being bashful. That's not you. Who are you?
So it'd probably be better to say you're outgoing. You're not shy.
Right.
You are not. You know, like it's.
Yeah, I got it.
Speaking, kind of thing. So
that's what I'm saying. On that note, I learned that by what you just said on what I could do better in that situation versus just calling them out like, hey, quit being shy.
Yep.
You're a Wilson. You're better than that.
Yep.
Like that's my go-to is like, who are you when you're not acting right?
Well, it's cool that you just said that because Cam just made a comment earlier about like this whole movement has made us better.
Oh yeah.
Just listening to this and going through and almost like, you know, listening to ourselves teach, you know, kind of thing has been like reinforcement for, you know, I'm getting better here. I'm getting better here. This is going to be a challenge, but I'm going to win. You know, kind of thing. And I think one of the big things is when you realize you screwed up with something that you said, correct it out loud immediately.
Yes.
Yep.
You know, so if you say I'm scared, I'm excited.
Yep.
I'm excited.
I like that. I'm glad you said that one because that's a good.
Yep.
I didn't have anything for that.
And
Tired's another one.
Tired. Yeah. We say sleepy. You're
Sleepy.
not tired.
Like if you need sleep, you're sleepy, but
Right.
we don't get tired.
We don't get tired. Yep. That yep. It insinuates weak. So, and you could really break this stuff down into like weakness, failure, kind of, that mediocre kind of speech to speaking victory. And as much as the alpha gets a chauvinistic pig kind of name, these are alpha kind of words and statements. This is alpha speech. This is how alphas speak. And what happens is
I speak alpha.
That's right. If you don't have that confidence already, if you don't have the confidence, you speak this, you will start to develop that confidence, which is what drives the alpha male.
So go back to the analogy of living in Spain, okay? And you can pick any. Let's just. Well, no, I don't want to go to China right now.
Can we go to like New Guinea?
You tell me what they speak in New Guinea. New Guineans?
New Guineans. New Guineas.
New Guineas. That's what they speak in Chattanooga. New Guineas. Let's just say Spain, because I'm pretty sure they speak Spanish there.
I gotta hear this New Guineas.
So let's say I move there, and I'm from Mississippi. We don't speak anything, but I'm not confident if I'm fully submersed in the Spanish culture in Spain, in Barcelona or wherever. There's a lack of confidence if I can't speak the language. As I live there and I surround myself with people that speak that language, and I learn the language and I practice the language and I do all these things, as I become fluent in the language, then I'm more confident in my environment.
Absolutely.
Same exact thing.
Yep.
And if you're a single male and you speak this language, what we're talking about right now, and you use these trigger words rather than the weakness words and stuff, you'll have no problem picking up a girl, and the right girl.
Right.
Like you'll pick
By
up.
that we mean attracting the proper person to you.
Because you have become a true alpha male, and you'll find a woman that is strong that wants an alpha male, not one that complains about a guy being strong. Kind of thing. So, you guys got any more feedback that you want to add to this?
I had another one, and it was one that's so common, and I lost it. But I've made a note to myself we'll post up some do's and don'ts or whatever, some say this, don't say that kind of thing.
I like this episode.
Yeah, so we'll put some good stuff together, and we'll call it maybe transition from puppy to alpha or something like that. And we'll challenge some people. Like,
change your language.
Yeah. Let's figure out how to change all this. Let's figure out how we're going to go from speaking words of weakness to speaking words of definitive purpose and confidence and becoming an alpha male. Like we just talked about in a previous episode, people need you to be an alpha male, because an alpha male isn't a chauvinistic pig. An alpha male is a guy that's compassionate. He cares. He's confident enough to go out and help people and do what needs to be done and doing the right thing when nobody's looking. That's what a true alpha male is. The other guy is an insecure little prick. So what you think of when we talk about masculinity and toxic masculinity and the alpha being this guy that just goes around the ancient times and rapes women and stuff like that, that's not an alpha male. That's
an awful male.
Something
Awful. Yeah, that's an awful.
Whatever you want to call it.
Well, we call it, instead of saying alpha, we'll just call it you become a hero speech. You become a hero of those around you, the people that you go. Because, call it as it is. An alpha male is not going to, he's going to be the one that saves you when dire issues happen, not the weak guy.
Right.
So, he's going to ultimately become your hero because he stepped up to do what he needs to do to take care of it.
Hero.
Man, I was about to say, I can be your hero, baby.
Oh, we're totally different wavelengths. I feel like mine was more alpha than what? I can't even say the word.
Awful.
Who was that?
I can be your hero, baby.
Yeah.
I can be your hero. Is that Ricky Martin?
Ricky Martin, is that who that was?
No, surely not.
Was
There
it?
ain't nothing alpha about Ricky Martin.
He's in touch with his compassionate side.
Well, he's in touch with a lot of things.
So just in wrapping up, so this is episode 67. It's going to come out on the 18th. So when this episode comes out, be looking for the post, because we're going to post verbiage, and we're going to challenge you to change your verbiage. We're going to challenge you to change your language. Learn a new language. And I know that sounds funny because it's still within the English language, but it is an alpha language or a hero language, whatever you want to call it. And therefore, you're going to change your vocabulary. And if you want to be attractive to people, and I'm not talking about just from a female-male perspective, I'm talking about from a networking relationship standpoint, You have got to be well articulated, and you got to speak the right way. That's something that you can learn to do. That's not something that people were just blessed with because you have to be smart to do it. It's something that you can train yourself to do, and the expectation should be that you do. You're going to stop requesting things from yourself, and you're going to start telling yourself what you're going to do. It's 2021. You're not a puppy dog anymore. It's time to step up and be a man because we need more alpha males in this country that are doing the right thing. Because when you back yourself into the corner, you'll do things you never thought you could. We've got a lot of really good platforms that we put this content out on. Obviously, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Parler now, Twitter. Go on to any of our platforms. Like us, do a join and share. You can go to our website, shepherdsof.men, and join a lot of really good programs that are going to be coming through that for opportunities to grow. Very similar to what we talked about today. And we're going to do practical things, man. Like, how does a man go from step A to step B, and then from step B to step C? How do you progress through the channels? And then 5 years down the road, you look back and go, holy crap, I'm a totally different person. So there's a lot of good things coming down the pipe through that. Make sure you go through there and subscribe. Give us a like. We really appreciate all the support. Things are really on the up and up. We've seen a lot of these numbers going up, and that's awesome. And it's not an edification to us. It's an edification to the movement. The idea of what we're trying to do with other men out there, and we're going to make a huge difference in this country and in this world as a whole. But it's going to take more than just us to do it, and we're really excited to do it with you guys. You guys have been part of the movement.